Hey, yo, guys, it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Welcome back, and thanks for tuning into this episode of World of Tanks with Brionk. Brian C. I like Brionk better. I'm going with Brionk. 53. I think it's Brian C. 53. I need to put my glasses on, but I don't know where they are. Oh, here they are. Hey, he's in his Super Conqueror. And you may recall a couple days ago I put a video out about the Super Conqueror, and it was Fisherman Joe having a fantastic 7,000 damage game. Well, guess what? Another Super Conqueror 7,000 damage game. You might be saying, hey, Guido, what's with all the Super Conquerors? Well, when Briank sent this to me, Brian C., he said, hey, here's a Super Conqueror game where I moved around quite a bit. Let's set the stage just a little bit. Obviously, we had a lot of really great discussion about what I believe to be the main meta of the game, which is very campy, or my contention is it's more campy than it was before. However you looked at it in the past, I personally believe it's worse than it ever has been for a lot of reasons. But I did a counterpoint right after that where it was a very mobile game with a high damage and a Kranvagjagen. And here's another example right here. So I still think it's an interesting discussion. Either way, whatever side of the fence you are on this, because I've always said, and I've learned this more and more as I've watched more and more of your replays from different styles of play and different players of all skills, that there are absolutely multiple ways to win this game. I happen to think, and I think it's pretty true, and most people will agree with me, there are certain ways of playing that will have more frequent good results, let's put it that way, i.e. a better win rate, a more damage, more DPG. Obviously, if your style is to drive straight across the map every single game and go right to the enemy cap, then you're probably going to have a relatively low win rate, right? It may work. It may be a style that you can be decent at, even get good at potentially, as far as being good at just YOLOing straight in can be. So, yes, there are multiple ways to win. I just gave you kind of a silly example of one of them. But there's a lot of others. And there is still the capability of being mobile in the game. And here's another good example. So he's pushing into town, and I'm going to set the stage a little bit more because the difference here really, I think the main one anyway, with the game that I showed where it was very campy, and this game, and this is very important by the way, is that he is top tier in a 3-tier battle. And the map is a little bit more wide open than the one that we were looking at. So I think it is interesting that clearly all of that plays into whether or not a game is campy, a particular one-off match is campy or isn't. People are going to look at it, they're going to look at the setup, and they're going to make decisions from there on whether they're going to be very passive or not. That blew my mind. That's that tree right there. That's blocked. Now, I don't know which one of... Well, he's clearly seen now because he just got lit again. So he actually has to move that guy out from behind that tree to go after him. That was kind of interesting. So he's top tier, and then, of course, the enemy team, I don't know what... To be quite honest, what is happening here? I don't know. 2 of their tier 10s went up that hill, which has complete flanking shots from the city. And their guys in the city are not controlling this edge of it. And here comes another one, Muppet. Look at this. Not to mention that the Heat is having trouble with his angling and with his spaced armor on his turret, and he's ended up bouncing 1,960. So again, nothing against Brionk, Brian C. right here. By the way, man, I'm not mocking you. I'm just having fun with the name there, mostly with my stupidity and inability to read because I need glasses now. But I need this team that he's playing. Can I have a few more of these red teams? He just absolutely massacres guys making a bad move. Now, why could he do that? I loved that, by the way, that shot. He does a lot of third-person shooting, so kind of watch what he's doing because it's very interesting. And this tank is very accurate, so it works really well with that style right there. But he has run into this situation. He's pressed W and got into the town, and he's moving forward, gobbling up hit points, doing what a top-tier guy should do. He's run into a map and a situation and a tiering setup that he is able to be aggressive and mobile, and that's really great. And these, I think, are the kind of games that we like. But, of course, if you're on the red team, you probably don't like it that much, right? Because this Conqueror is marching through your ranks, blasting people on the move. That was another amazing shot right there. You know, the funny thing we always say is you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. That's a good example right there. He was moving into cover. It's a nice accurate gun anyway. It reloads pretty quickly. There were no other targets that he had available, so he just took the shot and he ends up hitting the guy. What I will say, though, Brian, here is Brionk. I think you're rushing a few of these, so you're really relying on that kind of driving snapshot, third-person situation where you could use a little bit more aiming. And that was a good example. You did zoom in, but I don't know if you noticed you got into his track right at the end game. This was nice right here. He realizes that the tortoise is hitting him from behind, and he just pushes in. And that is exactly what you got to do. That's fighting two different directions at once. Somebody is shooting him from back there. He covers up as best he can with those rocks, and he just comes right in here, and this poor Ferdy goes down. Boom, just like that. And we're up to 4,936. So nice job moving into the town. Realize there wasn't much resistance. Finds two of their tier 10s doing I don't know what going up the hill. Took advantage of it. And that's the thing. It's not enough just to be lucky. The question is, what do you do with it? Well, what he did with it is he stood in there and he dueled those guys, and he helped take down the majority of two tier 10s right there. Or another, well, Carnarvon was a tier 8, right? The AX, yeah. Also, the Hawk 12 died in amongst all that. I don't know if he actually hit him. So we're at 4,936, 2,450 bounced, 591 assists, and still W. Now, this is not exactly completely won. They're in really great shape. They have a lot of map control. The only guys left are the campers who are sitting in the back. They tend to be the worst players. Tend to, not always, but tend to be the worst. Gets a little beat up by the tortoise coming across. Does a nice job. It's this way, scooting across into cover behind the ship because he figures that guy's hanging out in those bushes back in the back right there somewhere. This gives him an approach. He can come right up to here, and we're about to find out another thing that was good for the green team is it looks like the Leopard PTA was AFK. He's still sitting where he spawned, or it's just a bad bot that's not doing a single thing. There's another kind of third-person thing. I don't think you really lose much by just stopping, reloading, and shooting this guy. I don't know if anyone really knows you're there at this point. You're going to come in here and light this guy up. Kind of a rush shot. I think I would have just zoomed in and aimed that nicely. Probably would have been able to get that. So I don't know what happened. Maybe that shot just went down into his tracks right there. Bouncy object. That would have been a big bummer. And now we're going to come over here. Blap on the Artie. We get the rest in assist because we're spotting him. And we've still got the W going on. The tortoise is hating life. Looks like it might have tried to go for a track there, so good job on that. This guy's fighting multiple directions. I like that. It looked like you're kind of going for that rear track. Still a little verklempt from not feeling great. So we're going to push on in, and we're at 6,460, and then we're going to start dueling. Again, I thought that was rushed. I think I would have just stopped and gone for that tumor on top. The accuracy of this gun is fantastic. The reload, I think, is at least or very close to the speed of the tortoise. Tortoise is known for having a really fast reload. I think this one is pretty darn close. Might even be the same caliber gun or basically the same gun. I'm not sure. What is this? Is it a 20-pounder or is it bigger? No, it's just 120 millimeter. And we got him down. This was interesting to me. I think, Brian, I might have gone after the 705. You are at 155, so maybe the cap is the best idea because if somehow he started moving across to the west and escaped everybody, you might all start searching and run out of time. So I'm going to change my mind on that. This is definitely a get on the cap and not a no cap kill all game because you just don't have the time. So good on you. First time I watched through, that's what I thought. I thought you should have gone after him, but then I noticed the time on this time through. So I was incorrect. This was correct. And he's a big fat tank. So he's going to have a very difficult time getting close to enough to you without you guys seeing him. I don't know if I would have gone this close, but there you go. I think I would have sat back with these guys. Although, here's another thing. And maybe you were thinking of this. This would be very interesting if you could put it down in the comments. I'm wondering if because you were one of the last on cap, you went forward so that if you saw anyone and shot them, it would be you. And you would lose very few cap points. I don't know if that was actually going through your mind. That's a good technique for guys. If you're doing something like this, it's a kind of screening action that you can do. If you notice there's 2 or 3 guys on cap and you're going for a cap and you're a tank like this, yeah, go ahead and go up forward and see if they want to shoot somebody. Maybe they go after you with the fewest cap points or drive right in front. Don't get in their way, but kind of block the guy that has a lot of cap points is another technique right there. The thing you do have to kind of measure that against is, do I really want to be closer to them or do I want to be further back? That will depend a little bit on the firepower that's coming back to you. In this case, this guy's probably going to get one shot off before you cap it out again by the time he reloads. But in the case of several enemies out there, you might want to be a little bit more careful about being that far forward. All right, I got into a little bit of a tangent on cap techniques, but nicely done. 6,800. I think it ended up being 7,000 and some change because there was a blind shot in there, I believe, that did some damage. I think it was on the Tortoise, but I'll show you the cars afterwards. I thought this was, again, another good counterpoint. I still personally think that the game is very campy. It's more campy than it was. Let's put it that way. The game is much more campy than it was for a lot of reasons I've already discussed. But there are definitely more than one way to play. And as Brian has showed in the other Kranvagaganagan game I showed right after my "Hey, it's really campy" video, yes, you can be active. You can get out there and get in people's faces. But I think it's more situational than it used to be. Whereas I used to be able to be active and get up in the front in any tiering situation. But now, especially at all tier 10, I've got to be much more careful. And we got an example here of being top tier, having a bit of ability to move around and freedom of movement. And of course, the red team helped out with several things. But as I keep on saying, it's not necessarily how lucky you got. It's what you did with that. How did you leverage it? And how did you turn that into your advantage over and over again? All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Appreciate the support of the channel. If you're looking for extra ways to do that, you can find those down in the description. That's all I've got for today. See ya.